I'm calculating not in terms of the next election, I'm calculating in terms of the next generation, in terms of the next 100 years, in terms of eternity. And believe you me, the next 1,000 years, we will be here. I won't be here, but people like me and like my friends here tonight will be here. Recognizable, identifiable.
In 1965, the world believed this tiny island would never survive. It had no oil, no gold, not even enough drinking water for its own people. Most experts expected Singapore to fail. Yet today, it has one of the strongest economies on Earth. So how did a country with almost nothing become one of the richest nations in the world? This is the incredible story of Singapore. A nation with nothing. On August 9th, 1965, Singapore became an independent country after separating from Malaysia.
Every time we look back on this moment when we signed this agreement which severed Singapore from Malaysia, it will be a moment of anguish.
For many nations, independence is a celebration. For Singapore, it was a crisis. The island was tiny, had almost no natural resources, and depended on Malaysia even for drinking water. Unemployment was high. Many families lived in overcrowded neighborhoods. Factories were few, jobs were scarce, and ethnic tensions had already shaken the country. Around the world, very few people believed Singapore had a future. History had always favored countries with oil, minerals, or vast land. Singapore had none of those advantages. Its greatest challenge wasn't becoming rich, it was simply surviving. The leader who refused to fail. At the center of this crisis stood one man, Kuan Yew. He knew Singapore could never compete by copying resource-rich nations. Instead, he asked a different question. If we don't have natural resources, what can become our greatest strength? His answer was simple: the people. But before investors could trust Singapore, the country had to earn that trust. Corruption became his biggest target. Strict anti-corruption laws were introduced. No official was above the law. Government services became faster, cleaner, and more transparent. At the same time, education became a national priority. Schools focused on science, engineering, business, and English. The goal was clear: build a workforce the world would want to hire. Building an economy. Once Singapore earned the world's trust, businesses began to notice. The government invited global companies to invest. Factories started opening. Electronics, shipbuilding, and manufacturing industries created thousands of new jobs. Families who had struggled for years finally found stable incomes. But Singapore had another advantage: its location. Sitting on one of the busiest shipping routes in the world, the country invested heavily in its ports. The port of Singapore became one of the busiest on Earth. Every ship brought trade. Every container brought opportunity. Soon, banks, insurance companies, and multinational corporations followed. Singapore was no longer just a trading port. It was becoming one of Asia's biggest business hubs. The Singapore Miracle. As the economy grew, the government kept investing in the country's future. Modern roads, reliable public transport, world-class airports, clean streets, safe neighborhoods, excellent healthcare and education. Every success attracted more businesses. More businesses created more jobs, and more jobs created a stronger economy. Instead of wasting money, Singapore reinvested it into building an even better country. Year after year, the results became impossible to ignore. The tiny island that many believed would fail had become one of the world's most successful economies. The lesson: Today, Singapore is known for its skyline, financial sector, world-class airport, and one of the highest standards of living in the world. But its greatest achievement wasn't discovering oil. It was proving that natural resources are not the only path to success. Singapore became rich by investing in honesty, education, infrastructure, and long-term planning. Its story teaches one powerful lesson. A nation's future is not decided by what lies beneath its soil, but by the decisions its people make. A country that once had almost nothing built almost everything. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and become part of the Mystiq family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.